Okay, so again, because it's a comic property, there's going to be a big spoiler section. I'm going to open up by giving my overall thoughts of the film. There's going to be a big spoiler section, then a break, and then the trailers. And I'm obviously also going to have to cover a lot of what's happened over the past 2 or 3 days here, because if you paid attention to the news, all hell has broken loose. Anyway, my overall thoughts on Bloodshot is I'm going to have to, unfortunately, give it a D. This film really does try. I think there's some points where it really could have been a big, dumb, fun action film, but it just falls short, and it's really hindered by trying to cater to a PG-13 rating, which kind of befuddles my mind, because it seems like most of the people who would go to this are people who remember the original Bloodshot, and they're not teenagers anymore. They're, all in their mid-30s and could probably take an R-rated movie at this point. In fact, I'm willing to bet even fans of the new Valiant and their Bloodshot stuff, again, would probably be much happier with an R-rated movie, and this thing holds back just way too much. So, yeah, that is why I'm giving it a D.
Join the battle and fight with Turok Dinosaur Hunter! Ride mighty tribal dinosaurs, the ultimate battle beasts, against evil bionosaurs. In savage, headbutting, T-Rex jaw-snapping, raptor-ripping, Turok action! Kicking big-time bionosaur butt as the war rages on. Turok Dinosaur Hunter. Action figures from Playmates.
Okay, again, this is the spoiler section, so you've been warned. Okay, so Bloodshot concerns a Army officer named Ray Garrison, who is, after a mission in Kenya, returns home to his wife, and he's out of the Army finally. They go on a romantic vacation in Kenya when suddenly he and his wife are taken hostage and held up for information about who his informant was in Kenya on this mission. His wife is then killed. He is then shot, and when he comes to, he's in the offices of Rising Spirit Technologies, which is run by a Dr. Emil Harting. And Harting explains that Ray has been injected with nanites that basically can regenerate his dead tissue and have revived him as long as they're properly charged up. And it gives him super strength and super regenerative abilities. And immediately upon hearing the song Psycho Killer, because that's who the guy who killed his wife was playing when that song was playing when the guy killed his wife, Ray immediately breaks out of the technology building and hunts the guy down and kills him. Except it turns out that all of this, including the mission in Kenya, has been a simulation run by Harting, and Harting has been trying to take out his competitors who are developing similar technologies. In fact, Rising Spirit Technologies basically makes enhancements for soldiers to make them better, including like bioarmor and breathing apparatus or apparati, special sniper eyes. They use it under the guise of helping wounded soldiers become and live more normal lives. Harting himself has an artificial arm because he says he lost it to cancer. I'm willing to bet that part is at least partially true, since he didn't seem to indicate anything other than that. But and with that, Harting. But the thing is, every time Harting completes a mission, his memory is erased and it's re-altered into going into after another competitor, or in this case, Harting's former partners in RST. And something happens, though, along the way. Is one of the there are 3 other kind of bio-enhanced soldiers. There's KT, a woman who has a special respirator in her chest because she had a damaged, I think, trachea or something like that. It's basically like an automated stoma that allows her to breathe. There's Dalton, who lost his arm, I believe lost his arms and legs, and he also has and suffered some spinal damage as well. And he has obviously artificial attachments there, and then he later gets kind of an exoskeleton to also beef everything up a little bit. And then there's Tibbs, who was a sniper who got hit in the face by a grenade, and now he has a bio-enhanced eye, basically. But obviously Ray is Bloodshot, and he is the full packaged with this. The nanites, like I said, they heal. If he gets cut, they heal him instantly. And they basically replaced his bloodstream. Like that's what it sort of functions as, and that's why his chest actually glows, because that's the nanites getting ready to go to work. They're all warming up really fast. And like I said, he goes on this mission, and as this is happening, though, another hacker named Wilfred Wiggins kind of sets off an EMP, and that shuts Ray down long enough for Ray to realize that his memory is being altered and that his wife is actually still alive. But what he doesn't remember is that she actually divorced him 5 years ago and has since remarried and had kids. So, yeah, that plotline really comes to a screeching halt. And with that, Ray basically sets out to take down RST. Eventually he gets KT on his side, because KT is sort of the rebellious one, is also sort of rebellious, that she's tired for working there, but she can't leave, because if she does, they'll turn off the technology that will turn off her respirator. So, yeah, she kind of has no choice. That is until she is actually dispatched to take down Wiggins, who's this master hacker, and, yeah, and guess he winds up freeing her too, just so you know. And it basically turns out that the technology for the nanites, pretty much all of that, is based on Wiggins' open source software. And when that happens, Harding tells his tech guy, who's the little nerdy, not quite Aziz Ansari type, unfortunately, who's like, seriously, you used open source software to develop this? Really? Come on, I'd pay you better than that. I pay you to develop your own software. I mean, that's kind of the problem with this movie. Like, it really should have been like the Crank movies, where it's just that kind of nonstop, balls to the wall, crazy action with hammy, crazy, stupid villains who, basically eat so much scenery that, they'll be crapping film for a week afterwards. Like, that's what it should have been, and it just doesn't. It's just held back. It just keeps holding back and trying to cater to, like I said, a PG-13 audience, or kids, and it's like, why? Kids aren't going to go for this. Adults go for this stuff. This is what, yeah. And like I said, like, admittedly, I'm not entirely hip as to how much young people are following the new Valiant stuff, but again, I mean, I know it's got a decent-sized following, thankfully, but again, it seems like most of the people who would be into this are adults, not teenagers, not kids. Maybe teenagers to an extent, but again, teenagers who would be the likely to get into an R-rated movie, not or know the theater where they don't really card you. So exactly, that sort of thing. Not teenagers who would go to a PG-13 movie for the sake of going to a PG-13 movie. It really doesn't make any sense. And it just holds way too much back. Like, again, you see these cool shots like of Vin Diesel getting half his face blown off, and again, it should be cool, but it looks kind of bland and uninteresting because there's no blood. And, the way they get around the blood part is, again, because the nanites have replaced his bloodstream. And, yeah. So, and again, like, there's some decent turns in this. The actor who plays, Wiggins, Wilfred Wiggins. I can't think of what the actor's name is. Sorry. But, yeah, he's got a few decent scenes in that. Again, the tech guys all have pretty decent sequences. Like, KT should be an interesting character, but again, she's very wooden, unfortunately. Dalton, who's sort of the ace bad guy, is again also really wooden. I mean, he's the one who basically, every time they rewrite Ray's memories, sort of mocks him. He says, "Ha, I know you're catatonic right now, so you don't even remember me telling you this." Yeah, and that's all that is. Yeah, exactly. Like, he just comes across like a stupid brat of a child and not threatening in the slightest. And again, like, this corporation just is not interesting as a villain. It should have been, again, more balls to the wall, crazy, stupid stuff, and it just wasn't. And that's kind of my whole overall dissatisfaction with it. Vin Diesel himself as Ray is pretty good. He still has a kind of that wit that sometimes works in his action movies. Like, I'm probably one of the few. I actually really enjoyed the first Triple X. I mean, I'm sure it hasn't aged well, but I remember seeing it and thinking it was funny. You know, it was fun. You know, obviously the Fast and Furious movies, once they embrace the stupidity, you know, they've worked really well, but this just really didn't. So yeah, that's why I gave it the D rating.
Only evil this dark could bring him back. Only a game this big could do him justice. Turok 2, Seeds of Evil.
Okay, so normally this is where I go into trailer time, but we'll get to the trailers. But obviously, I guess I need to address the big elephant in the room, and again, because of the COVID-19 outbreak or coronavirus, and you know everything, like I said, kind of going to hell in the past few days. There have been a lot of movies being delayed. I mean. First was No Time to Die, which was supposed to come out April 10th, but it has now been delayed till November. Peter Rabbit 2 has been delayed until August. New Mutants, Mulan, Quiet Place were just today all announced as being delayed. No dates have been announced for any of those. And I'll mention the other delay when we get to it. The Lovebirds has also been delayed. That was supposed to come out April 3rd. That too has been delayed. The only one that I can say for certain, at least at this point, as I am recording this, Trolls World Tour has not been delayed. In fact, that was actually supposed to come out April 17th. It is now coming out April 10th. Again, this could change. I mean, by the time I post this video, things might be different. I cannot say for certain. But anyway, I'll go to the trailers. I did not catch this at the AMC, so we didn't have like the huge load of trailers that we normally have. But again, we opened up with a new one, Antlers, which they also announced has been delayed. So, yeah, that's Guillermo del Toro directing a movie, or it might be producing for all I know, but it's being presented by Guillermo del Toro at least, and it's about a Wendigo basically. And after that, we have New Mutants, which I just pointed out was delayed. Quiet Place 2, which was delayed. We finally get to one that has not yet been delayed, and that was Run. That is the movie with Sarah Paulson as an obsessive mother whose daughter is in a wheelchair, but she won't let her out or go online or anything like that, and the daughter starts to think that there's something up about it. After that, we had The Lovebirds again, which was also delayed, which I just mentioned has been delayed. And again, another one that, as far as I know, has not been delayed, and that is Run, Sweetheart, Run. That is a movie about a young woman who goes on a date, and turns out the guy is some type of monster, possibly the devil, possibly some type of vampire. And what he does is he brings women there, he basically attacks them, and he says, now look, you're going to go on the run, I'm going to find you, and I'm going to kill you. You have to try to avoid before sunup or something like that. I can't remember the exact rules. Looked kind of interesting, but again, at this point, I don't know what's coming out when. Another delay, I guess I haven't even mentioned, is Fast and Furious 9 has been delayed for almost a year now. It's now coming out next April. It was supposed to come out in May. Don't know anything about Black Widow. Don't know anything about... Oh, jeez. I think Scoob comes out next month. Sponge on the Run comes out. Is supposed to. I can't say for certain. I have no idea what's going to happen with the weekly movie reviews, unfortunately. I'll try to come up with something. It's going to have to do to suffice. I hope you can at least stick with me through that. I got a few things that are possible, so maybe. At least the one video I know will be coming out is the random trade review on Invincible Volume 1 Family Matters. WrestleMania, again. As I am recording this, there has not been any formal announcement that it's been delayed or postponed or canceled. Or, I mean, I know SmackDown is being moved to the Performance Center in Orlando. I don't know. Again, I can't say for certain. Hopefully we'll be able to. I do know that Ring of Honor canceled their big card this weekend. And again, if WrestleMania goes, I'm betting all the stuff that tends to go around WrestleMania, all the independent promotions that put on shows and the WrestleCons and stuff like that are going to go too. So there's probably not going to be too much to wait outside of comics. I'll probably have to start a podcast with my brother or something. Hopefully I can see you all again real soon. Hey guys, remember, you can help support my channel at patreon.com/sleepytimeforcat productions, where you can help request a movie, even if it's something like, say, Sonic the Hedgehog or the next Purge film. I'll review it.